Okay, so you know that feeling, right? Like you decide, okay, it's time, I gotta lose some fat, I want more energy, and then boom.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's like every magazine article, every fitness guru online, every well-meaning friend has a different piece of advice.
Yeah.
It's all just so much noise, right?
It really is, and it can be so overwhelming and confusing.
Totally. Like, do I need to be running marathons? Am I only allowed to eat kale smoothies for the rest of my life?
That's what a lot of people end up thinking.
It's enough to make you just want to give up before you even start.
Exactly, and that's what's so interesting about the source material we're looking at today for this deep dive.
Right.
It cuts through all that noise and gets right down to what actually works.
Exactly. And that's why we're here today, right? We're diving deep into proven strategies for faster and smarter. But here's the key: more sustainable fat loss.
That's the big one for you.
Sustainable. And the cool thing is, our source material breaks it all down into 7 simple habits.
7 habits simple. That's really appealing, right?
Totally. And this isn't about some crazy crash diet that leaves you feeling miserable and hungry all the time.
Right. This is about science-backed stuff that you can actually build into your life.
That's the difference for you.
And, whether you're just starting out on your fitness journey or you've been working at it for a while and maybe hit a plateau.
That plateau, it's the worst.
It is. And these habits we're going to talk about, they can make a real difference for you at any stage.
Totally. And trust me, even if you think you've heard it all before, these 7 habits, they've got some really interesting angles and insights
Yeah, for sure.
that I think will be super helpful for you. So let's jump right in. The first one is all about intermittent fasting.
Okay, so intermittent fasting, that's a big one, right?
It is, and it's popular for a reason. It works for a lot of people.
It does,
Yeah.
but, a lot of people, they hear intermittent fasting and they immediately think, oh no, I'm going to lose all my muscle.
That's a common fear, right?
Absolutely, and it's understandable because we want to lose fat, not muscle.
Right, that's the whole point.
But the source material here, it makes a really important point. When you approach intermittent fasting in the right way, it's not just about dropping fat. You can actually help your body hold on to that muscle.
Hold on to muscle while losing fat now. That sounds kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So think of it like this. You're basically teaching your body what fuel to use at what time, right? So during those fasted periods, those windows where you're not eating, your body starts looking for energy elsewhere. And where does it go? It goes to its reserves, right? And we want it to target fat primarily. And that's where the magic happens.
So basically, I'm tricking my body into burning fat for fuel.
That's a good way to put it. And it's not even really a trick. It's just understanding how your body works.
Okay. And the source mentions working out before your first meal. Why is that timing so important?
Okay, so let's say you're working out in a fasted state, right? Your glycogen stores, the stored carbs are going to be lower. So your body's already primed to burn fat for energy, and then you kick it up a notch by working out before you eat anything. And your body's like, okay, got to tap into those fat reserves even more to power through this workout.
Got it. So I'm already burning fat, and then I exercise, and it's like, bam.
Exactly. And there's another cool thing happening here. Insulin.
Oh, yeah. Insulin. That's a big one.
It is. So when you train fasted, it can actually improve how your body uses insulin. And that's huge for both losing fat and building muscle.
Like a win-win.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think of insulin like a key that unlocks your cells to let in energy, right?
Okay.
Well, fasted training, it makes those cells more receptive to that key, so it's easier to get the good stuff in and the bad stuff out.
Interesting. And there are a couple of ways you can do intermittent fasting, right? The source mentions the 16-8 method and the 5-2 plan.
Yep, those are 2 of the most common, and they're both effective in different ways.
So 16-8 is basically fasting for 16 hours, and then you have an 8-hour window to eat.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could say have your first meal at noon and your last meal at 8 p.m., and that's your 8-hour window.
Makes sense, and 5-2 is a little different, right?
Yeah, so with 5-2, you eat normally for 5 days a week, and then on 2 non-consecutive days, you significantly reduce your calories down to about 500 to 600 for the whole day.
Okay, so it's more like cycling between regular eating and calorie restriction.
Exactly. And what's great is you can kind of experiment and see what works best for your body and your lifestyle.
Yeah, the source really emphasizes listening to your body, right?
Yeah.
Not forcing it if you're feeling dizzy or drained.
Absolutely. If you're feeling terrible, that's not going to help you stick with it long term, and consistency is key.
That's what it's all about, right? Finding that sustainable rhythm.
You got it.
And for those of you who might not be ready to jump into full-on fasting windows, the source has a great alternative, cutting out those late-night snacks.
Yeah, that can be huge.
Seriously, just skipping that bowl of ice cream before bed can make a difference. It really can, because it gives your body a longer break from constantly digesting food.
Okay, so my body gets a rest, and that helps with fat loss. How so?
Well, it can improve your metabolic flexibility, how easily your body switches between using carbs and fat for fuel.
That's interesting.
And it allows your body to tap into those fat stores more efficiently overnight while you're sleeping.
So I'm burning fat while I sleep. Sign me up.
Right, it's like a little bonus, and it's a gentler way to experience some of the benefits of fasting without those strict time windows.
I like it. Okay, so moving on to habit number 2. This one sounds almost too simple to be true, using smaller plates and bowls.
I know, right? It's like, how can that possibly make a difference?
I was skeptical at first, too.
But there's actually some really cool psychology behind it, and the source does a great job explaining it.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It all comes down to our brains and how we perceive food. Our brains are wired to respond to visual cues. So when you fill a smaller plate, your mind interprets it as a satisfying portion, even if the actual amount of food is less.
So it's like a visual trick?
Exactly. You're basically tricking your brain into feeling satisfied with less food, and therefore fewer calories.
I like it, a Jedi mind trick for my appetite.
Exactly. And the best part is you're not depriving yourself. You're just using a little bit of strategy.
The source gives the example of switching from a 12-inch plate to a 9-inch plate.
Yeah, it's the same amount of food, but it looks different. And that subtle change can make you feel fuller.
It's amazing how much our minds influence our eating habits.
It really is. And the source even suggests flipping that idea on its head using larger plates for lower calorie foods like salads and veggies.
Ooh, I like that.
So you can visually load up on those nutrient-rich foods and feel even more satisfied.
Okay, on to habit number 3, meal prepping, something I'm a huge advocate for.
Meal prepping. Yeah, it's a game changer.
It is, and I think there's a misconception that it's only for those super organized fitness people you see on Instagram.
Right, like you need a whole day and a million Tupperware containers.
But that's not true at all. This is for everyone.
Exactly. Meal prepping is about taking control of your diet, making healthy eating easier and less stressful, and the source highlights that really well.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest benefits is that it helps you avoid those impulsive, unhealthy food choices we all make when we're tired and hungry.
It's so true, right? When you're starving and don't have anything prepared, it's so easy to just grab whatever's quickest and easiest, even if it's not the best for you.
Takeout menus calling my name.
Exactly. But with meal prepping, you've got delicious, healthy meals ready to go, so you're less likely to fall into that trap.
So I'm setting myself up for success by planning ahead.
That's it. And the source gives a great example of a weekly meal prep routine. You could try cooking up some lean chicken, roasting some sweet potatoes, steaming some broccoli, and even prepping your breakfast, like oats with apple and cinnamon.
Yum, that sounds delicious and so easy.
Exactly. And having those balanced meals all ready to go in your fridge, it takes the guesswork out of eating healthy.
And it's not just about calorie control either, right? The source also mentions that meal prepping can reduce stress, and you know exactly what's going into your food.
That's huge, right? No more hidden oils or sugars or mystery ingredients.
You're in total control.
Exactly. And that peace of mind, knowing you've got your meal sorted for the week, it can really reduce stress around food.
Totally. And for anyone listening who's new to meal prepping, any tips?
Well, the source recommends starting simple. Don't try to prep every single meal for the entire week right away.
Yeah, baby steps.
Just focus on a couple of key meals, maybe lunch and dinner for a few days, and as you get more comfortable, you can expand from there.
And it's important to focus on balance and variety, right?
Absolutely. Make sure each meal has a good mix of protein, carbs, and healthy fats, and switch things up so you don't get bored.
And don't forget those handy kitchen tools the source mentions, air fryers and slow cookers.
Those can be lifesavers. They make meal prepping so much easier.
All right, moving on to habit number 4. This one is all about exercise and that eternal question, weights or cardio.
The great debate.
The source has a pretty clear answer, though.
It does, and it's not what a lot of people might expect.
So spill the beans. What's the verdict?
The source says it's not about choosing one or the other. It's about combining both weights and cardio for optimal fat loss.
Ooh, interesting. So they work together.
Exactly. They complement each other beautifully.
I'm listening. Tell me more.
So lifting weights is crucial because it helps you build and maintain lean muscle mass.
And why is muscle mass so important for fat loss?
Well, muscle tissue is metabolically active, which means it burns more calories at rest compared to fat tissue.
So more muscle equals higher metabolism.
That's it. So the more muscle you have, the easier it is to burn fat and keep it off long term.
Makes sense. And what kind of weight training routine does the source suggest?
Aim for about 3 times a week, focusing on those large muscle groups like legs, back, and chest.
Okay, got it. And how does cardio fit into all of this?
Cardio is great for burning extra calories during your workout, and it's fantastic for your heart health.
Yeah, can't forget about the cardiovascular benefits.
Exactly. The source recommends things like brisk walking, cycling, or even just hitting the stairs for 20 to 30 minutes on your off days from weight training.
Okay, and I remember reading a tip about the order of your workouts, doing cardio after weights for better fat burning.
Yeah, there's some thought behind that. The idea is that after weight training, your glycogen stores are partially depleted, so your body might be more likely to use fat for fuel during cardio.
Ah, so I've already used up some of my carb energy, and my body's like, okay, gotta tap into the fat now.
Exactly, but it's important to remember that consistency is still the most crucial factor overall.
That's always the key, right?
Always. And don't forget about the mental benefits of exercise. The source mentions increased strength endorphins motivation. It's not just about the physical changes.
Totally. Feeling good helps you stay consistent.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on to habit number 5, HIIT, high-intensity interval training.
HIIT.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
It is, and for good reason. It's known for being super time efficient.
Yeah, if you're short on time, HIIT is your best friend.
So what exactly is HIIT? The source explains it really well.
It's basically alternating between short bursts of intense exercise and brief recovery periods.
Like sprinting all out for 30 seconds, then walking for a minute and repeating.
Exactly. That's a great example. The idea is to get your heart rate up really high for those short bursts and then give yourself a little break to recover.
And the source says you don't even need any fancy equipment.
Right. You can do bodyweight exercises
Yeah.
like jumping jacks, burpees, mountain climbers, squat jumps. You can do it anywhere.
So no excuses.
Exactly. And one of the coolest things about HIIT is the afterburn effect.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Tell me more.
So basically, your metabolism stays elevated for several hours after your workout.
So I'm burning calories even after I finish exercising.
Exactly. Your body's working hard to recover,
Yeah.
and that requires energy, so you keep burning those calories.
I love it. And the source also mentions another benefit, improved heart rate variability.
Yeah, that's a good one. It means your body's getting better at handling stress. We all know how important that is.
Stress is the enemy.
It can be, for sure. And the source even suggests you can boost the effects of HIIT by doing it fasted in the morning.
Ooh. So combining it with what we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Fasted HIIT can really kick your fat burning into overdrive.
Okay, now for habit number 6, something a lot of us probably already enjoy, black coffee and green tea.
Ah, two of my favorites.
The source calls them secret weapons for fat loss.
Secret weapons. I like that.
So what makes them so special?
Well, both black coffee and green tea contain caffeine, which can give your metabolism a little boost.
So my morning coffee is actually helping me burn fat.
In a way, yes. And the source points out that having a cup of black coffee before your workout can be especially beneficial.
Like a little pre-workout pick-me-up.
Exactly. And it's calorie-free, unlike those sugary energy drinks.
Much healthier choice.
Definitely. And green tea is packed with antioxidants, especially EGCG, which has been shown to support fat oxidation.
Okay, so EGCG helps my body use stored fat for energy.
Exactly. And the source suggests that drinking green tea in the afternoon can provide a more sustained calorie-burning effect throughout the day.
Interesting. So I can strategically time my coffee and tea for maximum benefit.
Exactly. And for those who find black coffee or green tea a little bitter, the source suggests adding a squeeze of lemon or a natural sweetener like stevia.
But no sugar or cream, right?
Definitely not. That would defeat the purpose.
Got it. And both drinks can help curb your appetite too, which is always helpful.
Absolutely. They can help manage those cravings and keep you feeling full.
Okay, and finally we've arrived at habit number 7, and the source calls this one the most important: consistency.
Consistency, that's the golden rule.
It is, and it's often where people struggle the most.
Yeah, it's easy to get excited and go all in for a few days or weeks, but then life happens and it gets hard to maintain.
So true. So how do we cultivate that all-important consistency?
The source has some great advice. The first thing is to choose a consistent time for your workouts and treat it like an unbreakable appointment.
Like blocking it out in my calendar.
Exactly. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine.
And what about those inevitable days when I miss a workout or slip up on my diet?
Don't beat yourself up about it. It happens to everyone.
Easier said than done sometimes.
I know, but the key is to not let one slip up derail your entire progress. Just get right back on track the next day.
That's the important thing.
Exactly. And the source suggests keeping a journal to track your food, your workouts, your feelings, It can help you identify patterns and stay accountable.
Like noticing that I always crave sweets after a stressful day at work.
Exactly. And instead of obsessing over the scale every day, try checking your measurements every couple of weeks. That can give you a more accurate picture of your progress.
Yeah, the scale can be deceiving sometimes.
It can, for sure. And here's a simple but super effective tip from the source. Make those healthy foods visible and accessible, and hide those unhealthy snacks.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for success by making the healthy choice the easy choice.
I love that. And the source really emphasizes that it's about making small, repeated changes over time, not striving for perfection.
It's about progress, not perfection.
You got it. And one last thing, the source has a golden tip about weight training and something called hypertrophy.
Ah, yes. Hypertrophy. That's basically muscle growth.
And why is muscle growth so important for fat loss?
It all goes back to that higher metabolism thing. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest.
So building muscle is a long-term investment in my fat-burning potential.
Exactly. And hypertrophy happens when you challenge your muscles with weight training that's heavy enough to stimulate growth.
So I got to push myself a little.
You do, but in a safe and controlled way. Of course, the source recommends seeking guidance on proper weight training techniques to maximize your results.
Makes sense. So to recap, we've covered 7 powerful habits for sustainable fat loss, intermittent fasting, using smaller plates, meal prepping, combining weights and cardio, HIIT, black coffee and green tea, and, of course, consistency.
That's it. 7 habits that can really transform your journey.
And they're all about making gradual, sustainable changes that you can stick with for the long haul.
Exactly. It's not about quick fixes. It's about creating a healthy lifestyle that you can maintain.
So as you're listening to this, think about which one of these habits resonates with you the most. How can you start implementing it today, even in a small way?
Yeah, what's one small change you can make right now that will set you on the path to achieving your fat loss goals?
Maybe it's swapping out that late night snack for a cup of herbal tea, or prepping your lunch for tomorrow.
Or committing to a 20-minute walk after dinner.
Exactly. This deep dive is all about giving you the knowledge and the tools to take control of your health and your body.
It's about empowering you to make choices that support your goals and make you feel your best.
So go out there, experiment, find what works for you, and most importantly, be consistent. You got this.
You absolutely do.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
See you next time.
See ya.